On another segment of what the cool people are talking about. My name is John, aka Yugimoto Jeans, and today we are talking about a downfall of a certain brand, Mr. Nike, Miss Nike.
Please come to the stage.
Nike has been a dominant force in the streetwear world since I can remember, since I've been in streetwear. And today we're going to talk about the recent downfall or maybe just slide I've seen in Nike and see what happened to it and see how they can build some momentum back up. So, my knowledge of Nike being more of a streetwear brand starts in the 2014 2017 era. I was in high school, about to go to college in this era. And all I could remember were the Jordan collabs, the Nike collabs. Everything was so collab centric. If you didn't have a collab, you were
Whack as hell.
no
No.
one wanted to be around you. If you didn't have one of the 10 off-white shoes, if you didn't have any kind of cause, Union One, any of that stuff, that was all in
Really a heart attack.
this era. Collabs were a signifier of, oh, you have good style. And why not? The shoes were sick. All the shoes from the 10 collection, from the Converse to the Jordan 1 to the Prestos, all of those were like amazing shoes. The Cause 4, the Union 1s, these were all really beautiful shoes that we haven't seen Nike have or allow that much creativity to these Jordans or these Nike models. And in this era too, this is where Yeezy really started to make a forefront into the mainstream of the shoe world. We have Ultra Boost getting really popular and Yeezy 750s and 350s hitting these stores, and more mainstream streetwear people are getting hands on their Yeezys and they want the Yeezys, they want the Yeezys. And this is the era where Adidas really comes to get that number one spot that Nike always held for a number of years when it came to like shoe sales or streetwear sales in the mainstream streetwear. Adidas was always trying to be that number one girl. And this is the point where Adidas is going band for band with Nike. They are not playing any games. And like I said, you see a lot of more collaborations, not just with athletes or anything like that, more so with artists. You see skateboarders get collabs. You get people like Virgil Abloh, Don C get collabs with Nike, Cause. You see a lot more high fashion people get more of these collabs. And this is what keeps Nike up in this upper echelon of mainstream streetwear. Now we get to 2018 to about early 2020, right when the pandemic is about to hit. And you see a little bit of shift into more of the casual streetwear. There's still a lot of Jordans being retro, but there's more of a focus on these retro ones, the original, iconic, almost skateboard-looking shoe, the Jordan 1. It's a high top. It was originally known as the white guys retro Jordan. The white guys were going to get the Jordan 1. Then it became more mainstream where everybody was buying it. And at this point, you see the bubbles start to burst. You see these shoes reselling for such insane amounts that what signified that you had style in this streetwear world was if you had the Dior Jordan 1s and you paid $5,000 for them, or if you had some kind of crazy collab and you paid a rack for them. There was some continuation of the Off-White series where if you had those, you were kind of deemed in this upper echelon of style when it came to streetwear. And you see a little bit more of a shift where Nike doesn't have to do as much because you have a brand like Adidas have this kind of fallout with Kanye West. He's on one of his moments and he's saying all this crazy stuff to Adidas, and eventually he gets cut off and they just keep releasing all these.
When do it becomes?
Adidas keeps releasing all of these Yeezys without any real intent or anything like that. They got to make the bag somehow, so why not just release 40 pairs of the same shoe? Great strategy. And around this time, you really start to see dunks getting popular. There's a little inkling of it. You see them retro, 1 or 2 or 3 dunks over here. Supreme has a collab around this time with Nike dunks and stuff like that. Whenever Supreme does something, usually that signifies that Nike is going to just release tens of thousands of this model, like just every single colorway imaginable. And this is where you see Nike Dunks become this new Jordan 1 really fast. Jordan 1 had its moment for a year, and this is where we see trend cycles become really fast. And you just see this fall off from Jordan 1 to Dunks, which is so crazy to me because they're such a similar shoe. It's just so this 2018 to 2020 2021 era is just so dunk focused. It's like this low cut. You see, and then this is where you see other brands start getting in. Adidas gets in with the Samba, and you have other brands just trying to do this very low cut shoe, very simplistic shoe.
What would you do if when you okay, so he said yes would go?
Now we get to post-pandemic, and this is, I guess I would mark this around 2022 to now. And this is where we see a real shift with the resale market and the general appetite for Nike sneakers and just Nike streetwear in and of itself. In this era right now, I feel like we don't see a lot of emphasis on collabs. People do not really give a shit about collabs at all. It's more about how you can put the perfect outfit together, how you can stand out without these crazy collabs, and these collabs not really making sense with your outfit or your style. And I think this also has to do with reps being a thing. Reps become so much popular in this era because there's so many TikTokers that are like, go to my spreadsheet, go to my link, and you can buy this collab for $200. So a lot of people are thinking that shoe is probably fake. That person has a fake shoe because it's just so unattainable now, because this is where the bubble actually starts to burst and people are like, fuck it. And you see all these resale prices drop. You see shoes that were worth $1,000 drop down to $500. Shoes that were $2,000 drop down to $1,000. And the recent Travis Scott collabs are reselling for $500 when they used to resell for $1,000 a year ago. And it's weird because you see other brands like Adidas do collabs like Whale Bonner and more music artists, and they're starting to gauge this TikTok fashion talk, and they really grab onto the Wales Bonner Adidas, the Samba, and Nike's being shoved out of this TikTok space. It seems like they're really just focused on, they were at one point retroing LeBron sneakers and KD sneakers. That was their main, I feel like that was their main shoe at the moment to bring back some nostalgia. And it's like, we've really done a 180 when it comes to wearing basketball shoes and streetwear. It can be done, and I think there is a market for it, but it's more so, why aren't you aging with your clientele at this point? Because now we're all in our early mid 20s and we've grown a little and matured when it comes to streetwear. And you see Nike just roll out more dunks, roll out more Jordan retros, and there's no adaptation. And I've seen a little bit with the Nike TMPO, like the Nike Air Max Pluses that have that big tongue that's reminiscent more of a soccer shoe, which is really popular. Soccer, I don't want to say soccer core, but football jerseys, jean shorts, those are really big right now. Dressing like you live in London, that's a really big thing right now. And Nike is trying to almost play catch up with brands like Adidas and especially Puma. I feel like Puma is something that we're going to see a lot of 2025, just with the whole European kind of vibe coming back and stuff like that. And also even the clog posit. I know Supreme did something like that earlier this year, and Nike released that too. More of these shoes, they're almost a little bit too late. If that came out in early 2023 or mid 2023, I think it would have been a hit and Nike would be in there. But I feel like they're trying to play catch up when it comes to the streetwear world. But I guess they can afford to play catch up because they're literally a $1 billion company. And now we get to the present day and what Nike should really focus on doing to revitalize the brand, give it some new energy, because I feel like no one is checking for on the sneakers app anymore. No one's really checking for not even a new collab, but a new model or something like that. And that gets to my first point, new models. We need to see more stuff like the clog posit, and we need to, like the Nike TMPO. We need to see more things like that. Just even reinventing older models and putting your own new age spin on it. I think that's going to go wonders for the longevity of Nike. It's going to open up the streetwear market more and try to gain that audience from TikTok and the fashion TikTok world. Because honestly, they do not care about Nike. They care about putting your best fit forward and always having a fit 100 and just having an ethos and having what inspires you. A lot of people want to go that route with fashion now, and I think Nike needs to do a better job of tapping into that. And I think They could do more collabs with a little bit nicher people. And obviously, like I mentioned before, Nike's a billion-dollar company. I don't think they need to hit on every single collab, but I think a Sandy Liang collab where they had bows, that's probably too late now, but if they had bows on a certain Air Max or a Cortez or something like that, or some kind of detailing like that, that would have been really sick. And I think a lot of people would have loved that. Or even like a Peter Doe collab where it's very black and white and very structured, or something where, or even would have been crazy as something like a Heaven Marc Jacobs collab, which I don't know how that works out if they're not aligned or whatever with brand loyalty, but that would have been something crazy to do. And that would have unlocked this streetwear TikTok market. And I think that just comes along with more market research. What are people gravitating towards? People aren't looking for, at least people my age range, 20 to 27, people aren't looking for the newest LeBron or this. They get that to play basketball in, and that's it. To develop style, they're looking for more low top shoes and more like Sambas and just things more like Sambas or more low cut like Adidas shoes. I know New Balance had its moment too. So lower cut, more lifestyle shoes. And I think that's where the Jordan brand can come in and develop their own lifestyle shoes and remove the Jumpman from it all and create more of this lifestyle brand where maybe you even eliminate the Jumpman logo and go this weird, funky lifestyle, which I know Nike and Jordan probably have something contractual with that, but I think that would be a really cool route to go. And I think just diverting more to the sneakers app and making sure the sneakers app is a thing that people have to check on to get shoes once you've created this hype. Like maybe inviting more like TikTok creators on there, like a Wisdom K, or even for the female side, like an Emma Chamberlain or something like that, and talking about how their style. And I feel like because the story of style and the story of fashion is so much more important now in this age rather than it was 3 years ago. That was a long one. Let me know what you all think. Is Nike dying? Do y'all care that Nike is dying? Let me know, and I will be back with more videos. Give it the vibes or die, cool people.